Alright folks, let's talk about one of the biggest, juiciest, brain-melting mysteries in One Piece, the Will of D. You know, that weird little middle initial that keeps showing up in the names of some of the most badass, reckless, or downright chaotic characters in the series? Yeah, that one. Monkey D. Luffy, Gold D. Roger, Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, Marshall D. Teach, aka Walmart Blackbeard. These guys all carry the D like it's some kind of secret VIP pass to world-shaking events. And somehow, every single one of them ends up flipping the world on its head. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but what does the D actually mean? Congratulations, you've just joined every One Piece fan in existence who's been screaming that question into the void for over 2 decades. And guess what? Oda still won't tell us. The man has been dropping breadcrumbs like he's leading us to some fairy tale ending, but he refuses to spill the full tea. What we do know is that this D business is some ancient, deep-rooted, world-changing legacy, so dangerous that the world government straight up sweats bullets every time it's mentioned. Like, these guys can handle emperors, giant warlords, and literal gods, but if you casually bring up the Will of D at their dinner table, yeah, they're flipping the plates and calling the cops, and then there's the One Piece, the greatest treasure in history, the thing Roger found at Laugh Tale, and the ultimate goal of every pirate worth their salt. But here's where things get spicy. The Will of D and the One Piece are probably connected. Gold D. Roger had the Will of D, found the One Piece, and what did he do? Laughed. Dude laughed his ass off like he just heard the greatest joke in the universe. Then he went and got himself executed, dropping one last hype bomb on the world. I left everything in one place. Go find it. Now, fast forward to present day, Monkey D. Luffy and another D-boy is retracing his footsteps. Same reckless energy, same big dumb smile, same unbreakable will. Coincidence? Hell no. So, let's break this down. What exactly is the Will of D? Why do these D guys keep shaking the world like a snow globe? And how does this all tie into the legendary treasure Roger left behind? Buckle up, because this rabbit hole goes deep. What is the Will of D? Alright, so imagine you're just chilling in the One Piece world, eating meat, vibing with your crew, maybe causing a little trouble, when out of nowhere a dude with a D in his name rolls up. Bad news. Something is about to go down. Your government? Probably crumbling. The social order? Getting drop-kicked? Some super important authority figure? Definitely getting punched in the face. Because that's just what D people do. Every single time. The Will of D is basically the ultimate I'm built different gene. People who carry this initial aren't just regular folks, they're walking middle fingers to the establishment. They roll up, shake the world like a soda can, and usually go out grinning like absolute lunatics. It's basically a universal law at this point. Gold D. Roger? Dude laughed at his own execution. Who does that? Luffy? Smiles through life-threatening battles like he's at a theme park. Trafalgar Law? Even with his tragic anime-tier backstory, he smirks like he's in on some secret we don't know. Blackbeard? Okay, he's built like a moldy potato, but even he follows the shake-up-the-world rule. The world government? Absolutely terrified. And here's where things get really interesting. Every time that little letter gets mentioned, the higher-ups start sweating bullets like they forgot to pay their taxes. The Five Elders freaking out. The Celestial Dragons crying into their overpriced wine. The Marines probably pretending they didn't hear anything. Why? Because the Will of D is tied to some ancient truth that they've spent centuries trying to bury. See, this whole D situation goes way back, like void century back. That's the mysterious 100-year gap in history that the government straight up erased from existence. Nobody's allowed to research it, and if you try, well, let's just say you won't be making it to dinner. The few clues we do have suggest that the D clan was somehow involved in that lost era. But what were they? A royal bloodline? A resistance group? The OG rebels against the First World government? 2 major theories exist. The Will of D is a bloodline. The D carriers are descendants of an ancient kingdom that the world government nuked from history. That would explain why the Celestial Dragons panic whenever a D makes a move. They are basically the rightful rulers the government overthrew. The Will of D is a spirit, not a bloodline. It's not about genetics, it's about inheriting the will to challenge the system. Some people are just born with this chaotic, freedom-seeking energy, and they unknowingly carry out the same mission across generations. Either way, one thing is clear, that the D people are destined to shake up the world, whether they know it or not. And guess who's the biggest D of them all? Luffy. This guy didn't even know what the will of D was, yet he's out here bodying government officials, declaring war on the celestial dragons, and collecting a crew of absolute lunatics to take over the seas. He's basically the living embodiment of, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna win anyway. But here's the real kicker. Every single D in history has been searching for something like freedom, truth, adventure, and the One Piece. That can't be a coincidence. So, what's the connection? Why do all these Will of D people end up chasing the same dream? And most importantly, what is the One Piece? And why did Roger, the most legendary D of them all, choose to leave it behind instead of taking it for himself? Yeah, we're about to go full detective mode. Let's keep digging. The search for the One Piece. All right, let's talk about the grand prize, the One Piece, the treasure that got half the world acting like it's the Powerball jackpot. The thing that made Gold D. Roger laugh his ass off and got him executed. The reason Luffy, the biggest menace to marine society, is throwing hands with literally everyone in his way. But here's the problem. Nobody actually knows what the hell it is. Is it gold? Is it knowledge? Is it just a post-it note that says, the real treasure was the friends we made along the way? We have zero clue. But there's one thing we do know. The One Piece is real. Gold D. Roger himself said so. When Roger and his crew finally reached Laugh Tale, the last island in the Grand Line, they found something. And whatever it was, it made them burst out laughing. The dude literally discovered the ultimate treasure and reacted like he just read the funniest shitpost of his life. Then, instead of taking it, he peaced out, disbanded his crew, and let the world fight over it. King behavior, honestly. But interesting is that Roger wasn't even the first person to get there. Someone before him left the One Piece behind. Maybe the same people who created the poneglyphs, those giant stone tablets that tell the real history of the world. And those people? Yeah, they might have something to do with the Will of D. If Roger had the Will of D and the One Piece was important enough for him to leave behind, then there's no way these two things aren't connected. He even told Whitebeard before he died. One day, a man will appear, carrying centuries of history on his back, and challenge the world. And let me tell you right now, that man is Luffy. Dude is literally retracing Roger's footsteps, whether he realizes it or not. He's got the same reckless energy, the same dream, and even the same goofy-ass smile. But here's the thing. Luffy isn't just Roger 2.0. He's doing this his own way. And unlike Roger, he's not dying anytime soon. So now the million-berry question. Why is the Will of D tied to the One Piece? Why do all these D people seem to be chasing the same thing? Well, get ready for some real conspiracy. How are the Will of D and the One Piece connected? All right, let's put on our tinfoil hats, because the deeper we dig, the more obvious it gets. The Will of D and the One Piece aren't just linked. They might be the same damn thing. Think about it. The world government is terrified of the Will of D and wants it erased. They also want to keep the One Piece hidden at all costs. The One Piece is rumored to reveal the true history of the world. The Will of D is connected to an ancient past that was wiped from history. See where this is going? Theory number 1. The One Piece is the truth about the ancient kingdom. The ancient kingdom was supposedly this massive advanced civilization that the world government nuked from history during the Void Century. The One Piece could be the final message from that kingdom, exposing the government's biggest crime. Maybe it's proof that the D-Clan were the rulers or protectors of that lost world. If that's the case, then Roger and his crew probably learned the biggest plot twist in history and just stood there like, damn, that's crazy. Theory number 2, the One Piece is the Will of D itself. What if the One Piece isn't even a physical treasure? What if it's a legacy, a responsibility passed down to the next generation? Maybe the One Piece is something that only a true D can understand or use? Imagine Luffy finally reaching Laugh Tale, staring at whatever's there, and suddenly, everything clicks. The real treasure isn't gold, it's knowledge, the truth, the ultimate freedom. That would explain why the world government is scared out of their minds. Theory number 3, the One Piece is something that can change the world. Look, we all know Luffy isn't out here for gold. The guy literally gave away 5 billion berries like it was lunch money. He doesn't care about wealth, he cares about freedom. What if the One Piece is something that can break the world's shackles? Maybe it's a weapon, powerful enough to destroy the world government. Maybe it's a way to erase the red line and unite all the seas. Maybe it's a forgotten power that can free everyone from the tyranny of the celestial dragons. Whatever it is, one thing is clear. Luffy isn't just looking for treasure. He's about to rewrite the entire world. And guess what? That's exactly what the Will of D was always meant to do. Theories and speculation. Now that we've connected the dots, it's time to throw hands with some wild theories, because let's be real, One Piece is packed with so much foreshadowing that half of Oda's grocery list probably has secret lore in it. The Will of D and the One Piece are clearly intertwined, but what does it all mean? Let's break down some of the most brain-melting possibilities. Theory number 1, the Will of D is a bloodline. Okay, so imagine this. What if all the D-Ing carriers are actually descendants of the ancient kingdom? The world government nuked that civilization from history, but their bloodline survived and scattered across the world. Every now and then, a D-kid is born, carrying the same rebellious spirit their ancestors had. That would explain why the government is sweating bullets over these people. If the D-clan was once the ruling class of the ancient kingdom, then they're basically walking reminders that the celestial dragons stole everything. And if Luffy, Law, or any other D figures this out, yeah, it's over for the world government. But here's where things get tricky. If the Will of D is genetic, then why do so many Ds have wildly different personalities? I mean, we got Luffy, human golden retriever, Law, emo surgeon, and Blackbeard, Walmart bargain bin villain. They don't exactly scream same family. Which brings us to our next theory. Theory number 2, the Will of D is a destiny, not a bloodline. What if the Will of D isn't about who you're descended from, but what you stand for? A cosmic passing of the torch type of deal. The D people aren't just born, they're chosen by fate, meant to shake up the world, whether they know it or not. Gol D. Roger figured out the truth of the world, but he was too early. He knew someone else had to finish the job, so he basically set up the greatest scavenger hunt in history. And guess who picked up where he left off? That's right, my dude Monkey D. Luffy, the most I do what I want protagonist to ever exist. He's not just following in Roger's footsteps, he's the one who's finally gonna finish what the D's started. And that leads us to our final and probably most insane theory. Theory number 3, the One Piece is the key to ending the world government. We've been calling it a treasure, but what if the One Piece is actually a weapon? Not like an ancient nuke, but something that completely destroys the balance of power in the world. It could be knowledge of a hidden truth that exposes the world government's biggest crime and sends the entire system into chaos. Or maybe it's something that gives Luffy the ability to literally reshape the world, fulfilling the dream of freedom that all Ds seem to carry. Whatever it is, Roger saw it and laughed. Why? Because he knew he couldn't use it. But Luffy, his whole existence screams, this dude is gonna change everything. If the Will of D is all about bringing down tyrants and reshaping the world, then the One Piece might just be the final piece of that puzzle. And when Luffy finds it, yeah, the world government is screwed. So here's where we land. The Will of D is not just some random letter, it's a force that keeps showing up throughout history, carried by people who change the world in ways that are almost too big to understand. It's like they're born to stir the pot and topple the giants. The One Piece is a treasure that connects to the lost history of the world, hidden at Laugh Tale, the island that's been a mystery for centuries. It's more than just a shiny pile of gold. This treasure is something that could rewrite the entire world's history and expose everything the world government has been hiding. Gol D. Roger found it, but he couldn't use it. Roger got the One Piece, laughed his ass off, and then dipped out, leaving it behind for someone else to deal with. He was the first to taste it, but somehow he knew he wasn't the one meant to wield it. He set the stage, but the real game changer was always going to be someone else. Now Luffy, another D, is on the same path, and this time things are different. Luffy is no mere imitator of Roger. He's bringing his own chaos into the world. He's taking that legacy, twisting it to his will, and building a new world on his own terms. Every step he takes is part of a bigger puzzle that no one but the D clan seems to understand. Luffy isn't just chasing the One Piece for fun, nope. He's unknowingly fulfilling the will of every D who came before him. This isn't some goofy treasure hunt for a pirate's dream. This is a reckoning. Every D before him had their own piece of the puzzle, their own mark on the world, And now, Luffy is about to be the one who ties it all together. He's not just going to change the world, he's going to tear down the walls that have been holding it up. He's about to flip the entire system, probably laugh while doing it, and take the world into its next era. The real question isn't whether or not Luffy will find the One Piece, it's how the world will look after he does. And the best part? We still have no idea what the hell the One Piece actually is. Is it gold? Is it freedom? Or maybe it's just a massive truth bomb that's going to leave everyone's minds blown. Oda's been holding the cards close to his chest for decades, and we're finally at the point where the truth is about to drop. We've gotten crumbs and hints, but when Luffy gets to Laugh Tale, it's going to be game-changing. Whether it's history, a message, a weapon, or something even crazier, one thing is clear. Luffy is going to be the one to complete the journey that started centuries ago. And when that happens, the world will never be the same again. He'll be the one who changes the course of history. Not as some copycat of Roger, but as his own beast with a dream that burns hotter than anything we've ever seen. So sit tight, fellow weebs. The moment Luffy reaches Laugh Tale, we're either getting the biggest mind-blowing reveal in manga history, or Oda's about to hit us with the ultimate LMAO y'all really thought. The anticipation is killing us all, but we know one thing for sure, the will of D is about to change the world. The world will never be the same once Luffy finds the One Piece. And when it happens, we'll all be standing on the edge of something unbelievably epic. Catch you next time here on 7 Seas.